God gave us a beautiful banquet from which to eat. The fruit and the vegetables and the game, the fish, okay? And when you eat, there's a modest pleasure associated with it, okay? And a very, very modest fulfillment or satisfaction, okay? But many of us, there's more involved. We eat to forget, or we eat to remember, or we eat to deny, or we eat for love. See, the emptiness that you feel. See, the support that you got from whoever it was that trained you when you were a little child to be compliant and to be a people pleaser in exchange for approval. Whoever got you to do that, see, they robbed you of yourself. And then, without that approval, you feel empty and loveless. Empty and loveless, because you've separated from the source of love, which is your Father. See, your Heavenly Father. So, that emptiness, then you seek to fill it with something from the world. See, it would be better to stand back and feel the emptiness and cry out to your Creator for His consolation, for His approval, for His love, see, for His comfort. But instead we cry out to the world, see? And when you cry out to the world, then you lose even more of yourself and become more like them and more empty. And then you look to food. So now, but here's what point I want to get. When you look to food for something more than just eating to live, when you look to food for something more, you want something from it, then it becomes a temptation. And then you eat to forget your own wrong, or you eat or to forget conscience, or you eat to remember who you are, your culture, your family, all these things you eat to remember, or you eat to as a source of fulfillment instead of God, food. See? So can you see then how this food becomes a temptation? It alters the food, your relationship with it, and it alters what it does to you. See? Christ said, He told them at the Last Supper, He said, eat this in remembrance of me, and drink this every time that you drink it in remembrance of me. See, if you could eat and drink, to simply eat and drink, or to eat and drink in remembrance of Him, but you'll only be able to really do that when He helps you, when you start on the path back. When you do that, now the food is different. It's no longer a temptation. You're no longer looking to it for love. See? And now you could say, okay, so I eat the food and it tastes good, but I'm not getting too much out of it. It's not an easy thing to do, but let's say you could do that. Then what are you going to feel? You're going to feel some kind of emptiness. You might even resent the food for not giving you what you want. Have you ever had that? Where you paid for a drink at Starbucks or something and it wasn't made quite right? And then you resent it because it wasn't serving you. So, may I recommend that you begin to meditate. If there's a part of you that yearns for what is good and what is true, yearns for something innocent, something pure, if there's a part of you that yearns for something good and pure, then that part of you needs to be cultivated. And that you can do by meditating. And what is meditation? But standing back from everything, from your emotions and the thoughts and your imagination, which you look to comfort you, see, and your thoughts. And you stand back and observe them, okay, with a little bit of detachment. Then you're closer to God, closer to the inner light. And somehow your soul looks to Him. Yeah, you're still, after all these years, You're still attached to the things of the world. You still look to food too much and to substances and people. But now you stand back and then you begin to see it. Oh, I see. I see what I'm doing. I see how I'm looking for approval. I see how I'm looking for love from food. You begin to see it. And how do you see it? In God's light. Because you're standing back and observing in God's light. And that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Is meditate a little bit. With my meditation, not any meditation. Most meditations will still serve your egos subtly, or pride, or there's something wrong with them. It's more imagination, more visualization. No, what you need is something very simple, that permits you to get a little closer to the inner light. And then with God's help, you'll be able to begin to lay down, see, the things of the world. Some things you'll have to give up. Other things, you can continue doing them, but now just with a little different attitude. You won't be looking for so much from them. You'll be able to take them or leave them. So you can have a healthy relationship with things and with people. Why do you resent people anyway? You resent them because they're not giving you what you want, what your ego wants. And what does your ego want? Worship, honor, see, security, support. It's not that security is a wrong thing necessarily, but you just have to see that it's not really love. If you want that from people and then you resent them if they don't give it to you, can you see that's not really love? If it becomes hate and resentment, it's not really love in the first place. We should be more like two flowers growing side by side, both turned toward the same sun, see, and appreciating the same sun, and appreciating each other lightly, not too much, rather than two vines clinging together and forgetting about the sun. See? My name is Roland.